Okay, so that's kind of a lot. Hi guys, today we're gonna be going through all of the palettes in my collection. This is a declutter. It might kind of be a collection tour. I don't know how much I'm gonna be getting rid of, but I do want to make some room, and more than anything, just pass on things that I'm not going to be using to family, friends, and things like that. So we have so much to go through, so we're just gonna get into it. If you wanna see the rest of my collection be decluttered, I will leave that video linked down below. This is just palettes, so let's go. All right, we're getting straight into it in no particular order. This first one here is from Viseart. You're gonna see a lot of Viseart in here because I bought so much recently. This is the Minette Entendu. I'm very bad at the pronunciation, but this is what it looks like. It is beautiful. All of the Viseart palettes also come out and they're just beautiful. I'm really into these formulas right now, and they tend to go a lot more neutral, so I am excited to explore this. I'm gonna keep this palette for sure. I feel like this palette kind of encapsulates my style as of late. Next, this is a palette from Violet Voss called Wild Dahlia, and I really love this color story. It's just so pretty. It's like grungy yet neutral, so I'm gonna keep this one. Very inspiring color story to me. This other Violet Voss is called Windflower, and this one is pretty too. It's more warm toned. There's a part of me that wants to get rid of it, a part of me that wants to keep it. If you guys watch my other declutter though, you know that I'm not like trying to just get rid of stuff to have a small collection. I really just want to, you know, clear out things that I know I'm not going to use, so that way the things that I am excited about can get a little bit more love. So I think I'm also going to keep this one. I'm not ready quite yet to let go of it, and I'm going to give myself some chances to use it, so I'm going to keep this one too. This next one's from Ciate London, and this was sent to me in PR. This is what it looks like inside. I mean, these are really beautiful colors. I really do like the color story. The quality is really nice though. Like, you can see that. I think this is one that, because it's limited edition, because it's in the packaging, even though the colors are really pretty, I have these, so I'm not feeling super drawn to it. So I think I'm gonna pass this one on, and someone else can get some great use out of it because it's so pretty. And then we have a little quad here. This one is also from Viseart. This is called Chocolat, and I'm definitely keeping that. I'm gonna keep all my Viseart. So if you see them, I'm keeping them. This next palette is from Huda Beauty. These are the Neon 9 pans, and this one is the pink version. I love this. I know this is old, but I don't care. I keep it all the time because I just really like get inspired by these colors. The shimmers in here are more of that like semi-sheer formula, so I tend to like that. I want to keep them. I really like them. I'm not usually buying these colors, especially lately, so I like having them, so keeping. The other one in that same kind of collection, this is the orange one, and again, I just think it is so fun. I am going to be keeping this as well. I know the swatches weren't very good. I don't know how much I'm going to actually swatch, but yeah. Definitely gonna keep both of those. They stay around. I love them. I think they're so fun. Next, I have some palettes from Shine by SD, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. These were sent to me. I think that the Shine by SD formula is so good. I don't know if I want to keep these ones. Oh, they're stunning. Okay, let me get you some swatches. These are just so pretty. So I think I might keep this one. This is more like the iridescent multi-chrome type of thing. It's called the Treasure Pop palette, so I'm gonna keep that one. This next one is the Serenity Pop, and it is so pretty. Again, the quality of the shadows is great. I just don't know if I want to keep this. I feel like I just use her single shadows more than the palettes, and these ones are just so bulky. Like, you can see how bulky they are, so I think I'm gonna pass that one on. I did see though that Shine by SD is coming out with a new palette, and I am excited to see the inside. I don't think it's been quite revealed yet. And then last year, this is the Green Ocean palette. This one is beautiful. If you're a green lover, this has like every green you would want in here. I just want the singles. It's just a lot of green, so I think I'm gonna pass that one on too. I think that's gonna go. Next, I have some quads from e.l.f. I'm gonna keep both of these. This one's in the shade Pumpkin Pie, which I think is pretty, so I'm gonna keep that. I also have the quad in Rose Water, so I'm gonna keep that one as well. This little mini though from Natasha Denona, this is the Biba mini palette. I'm gonna pass that one on. I don't need this because I have the Biba, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Hopefully someone in my life will enjoy it. It's really cute and tiny, little petite palette. Next, we have some Tom Ford quads, and I am gonna keep these for now. I like hope these will work for me one day. Like, that is what I want, and the swatches look amazing, but I just never can get these to look that good on my eyes for some reason. So I'm gonna keep these around. This one specifically is in the shade First Frost. This next one's called Body Heat, another really beautiful one, but again, I don't know what it is. Like, I want to like them so much more, but I can never get them to work, but I'm gonna keep them for now. I have a feeling I can hopefully unlock their potential. And then last for Tom Ford, this one's called Lava Luster, and this one's way more textured in the shades. So they have a lot of sparkle to them. They're very pretty. But even this, you guys know I love texture, and I just feel like for the price, it's still not really quite worth it, even though it's beautiful. So I'm gonna keep that. I say all this shit stuff about them, and I'm like, and I'm keeping it. I think especially with stuff I've bought myself, like I wanna try to make them work. This is the 9 Years Ago palette from Dose of Colors, and this is really beautiful. They sent this out to me. I do think that it's nice, but I think this is one I'm actually going to pass on just because I'm not super drawn to the color story, although I think it's pretty and you could get a lot of actually different looks, neutral looks, all that. I like the other one in this set, so I think this one I can actually pass on. Next, this quad from Pat McGrath is of course staying. This is the Venus and Fleurs quad, and I absolutely love it. I picked it up this year, and it's one of my favorites, so definitely keeping that one. I have another Dose of Colors palette here. This is the quad that came out like for Valentine's Day around that time, and it's all matte except for this one shade, which that shade is stunning. I love it. I'm kind of torn on this one. Like, I really don't do looks like this. It's a very specific look. I just don't know, but I think these two could look so good together. But it's kind of a big quad in general. It's just tough. I think this one's gonna go. I think it's gonna go. Something I'm trying to keep in mind is that I definitely don't always love like limited edition, like unless I love it, obviously. But if it's limited edition and I just feel meh about it anyway, it's just kind of like, time to go, time to go. This one is from DD Signature, and I believe this brand is actually not, you know, doing stuff anymore. They sent this out to me though. This is the Pumpkin Spice quad, and it is so pretty. I think this is such a well done quad, you guys. I love the colors. I love that there's two duochromes. The mattes work so perfectly with everything. Like, this is the type of color I love. That kind of yellowy green duochrome is everything I love, seriously. So this one, although you can't get anymore, I think I still want to keep it around because it's just so inspiring. So I'm gonna keep this one. This next palette is from Lethal Cosmetics. This is the Teresa's Lethal collab. I'm definitely keeping this one. This came out this year. It was her second collab with Lethal, and it's really pretty. She sent this out to me, which is so nice of her, and I just, oh, look at that silver. Like, I love it. I'm definitely going to be keeping that. I'm going to keep all my collabs like just up front, you know. To me, it's like almost like a capsule of memory of like, you know, different people online in my space doing awesome stuff. So keeping that. This is a palette from Kylove that's actually water activated. So these aren't actually shadows. They are water activated like liners, whatever you want to do with them. So I'm actually going to keep this. I got rid of all my other water activated liners in my other declutter, and I'm just going to keep this one around. You know, I don't normally do this. I've never used this, but I do want to keep it just in case. That's kind of one of those things that's fun, some graphic liner work, and a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to keep that. This next palette is from Dose of Colors again. This is the Wifey palette, and this was in collaboration with Shayla, and I think this is so pretty. It's very like the same colors, but I love how small it is. I really love this shade. That's the one that's my favorite. So that's one I'm actually gonna keep. A little bit basic. I still really like it. Like, I think the looks I do with it are really pretty. This is one from What's Up Makeup, and this is the Geodes palette. So pretty. This brand really has some great stuff. They also have some amazing natural hair brushes if you're looking for any, but I'm definitely gonna keep this one around. Some really pretty duochromes, some really pretty mattes. Like, I think this is a fun color story, so that's gonna stay around. This is the Pretty Precious palette from Half Cake Beauty, and I love this. Look at the inside. I know that outside was a little much, but look at the inside. Just seriously so pretty. I feel like these are very luxe. Like, this is what I want the Tom Ford eyeshadows to be. They actually show up that on my eyes. I just love this color story. Like, this to me is pretty perfect. So keeping that. Next, this is the Ethereal Eyes palette from Makeup by Mario. This came out this year, and I'm definitely going to keep this. It's a newer palette, but I do quite like the colors in here and also the finishes, so that's staying. This one is from Viseart. This is called the Kashmiri palette, I believe. Oh, look at these cool tones. Like, this is my dream. I love it. Let me get a few on here. Like, that is what I'm talking about. Oh, I love this color story so much. This is one that when it came out, I wasn't really interested in it. Like, looked kind of neutral, looked kind of boring, but now I'm like, my goodness, this was a dream come true. So definitely keeping that. And depending on how it goes, I might do a second round. I'm not really sure at this point. I guess we'll see. This is from Flower Beauty. This is the Jungle Lights palette. Definitely keeping that one. This is some of the best you can get at the drugstore. So that's staying. This is definitely my favorite shade by far from the palette. I mean, it's stunning. It is so stunning. These remind me of the single shadows actually from Half Magic that I like, the Wet Pebble shade. It's kind of like this texture. Next, I have these 3 little 5 pans from ColourPop. I don't know what to do with these, you guys. There's part of me that really is inspired by the color stories and I kind of want to keep them, but I know I don't use them a ton, so it's kind of tough. That first one was called Just a Glitch. This one's called New Millennia. And then this pink one's called Playground. I feel like because I'm on the fence, I tend to just go with keeping them because I can always reach for them. They can always be something that stops me from buying something similar in the future because I already have bought it. So I think I'm going to keep these ones around for now. I was really excited actually for all of these like 5 pans from ColourPop, but I don't know. The packaging on these wasn't my favorite, so I don't know. I'm going to keep them though. I have 2 quads from Revlon that I absolutely love. This one's called Slight Flex. Love this. Definitely keeping. This is in my drugstore that like performs like luxury, so keeping that. I'm also going to keep That's a Dub, which is a similar formula, just different color story. Also love that one. Some more stuff from Pat McGrath. This is from the holiday collection this year, the 5 pans. This one's called Nude Allure. I'm definitely keeping that. I really love these, you guys. They're really just pretty colors, and I love that it's shimmer heavy. I love a shimmer heavy palette, so keeping that. This is the other one that came out. This one's called Bronze Bliss, and again, just so good. This middle shade is so creamy and stunning. So that is staying in my collection for sure. I have all 3 of these palettes that came out from ColourPop. So this one's Twist of Slate, but the one that I have is actually a mix of a couple different palettes. So this is like a custom palette I created, and you'll see the one that I took it from, but these are kind of like duping the Patrick Ta, and I really love it. I'm definitely keeping this. Like, this makes me want to bust it out. Look how pretty that color story is. I love it. Lots of like 2 shadow looks in here. This though is what my Set in Stone looks like. So you can tell I definitely took some shadows from here. This does not look like a good palette on its own, but I am going to be keeping that as well. And then recently they came out with the Clay It Cool, and this one's a lot more warm toned, like reds, pinks, terracottas. So I'm definitely going to keep that. I haven't actually had the time to play with this. This was sent to me, and I definitely want to. I would love to like incorporate it and kind of make my own custom palette from the 3. So hopefully I'll get to do that soon. All right, this palette definitely can go. This is the Treasure Chest palette from Mellow, and it's just not very good, like kind of just boring and trash and just, I don't know. I was excited to try and give another brand like a chance, and the shadows look really good here. They look fine, and maybe they are, but I hate the packaging. So much about this feels cheap. And I don't know. I just don't connect with this brand. I'm not really probably going to try much else from this brand. You know, sometimes you just have that experience, so that's going to go. Next, this is the Lorac Fairy Tale Forest palette, and I love this. I think it's so pretty. I definitely want to keep this one around. I really like the Lorac formula. It's another brand that like back in the day I used to use a lot, but just kind of, you know, they haven't come out with much. I feel like they kind of fell off a little, but man, I'm so into these neutrals, so definitely keeping that. Okay, this one is so pretty. This is from Glaminatrix. They sent this out to me. This is the Glamorous palette. I don't think this is one I would have picked up on my own, but these colors are so stunning, you guys. The shimmers from Glaminatrix are absolutely no joke. They are so pretty. So I'm definitely going to keep this one around. I feel like the mattes are always really, really pigmented. I actually just don't want to stain myself, so I'm not going to swatch them right now, but I have a short on my channel, so check that out if you want to see some swatches. But yeah, definitely keeping that. Next here we have the Patrick Ta. You can kind of see the resemblance of those ColourPop palettes to this one, so I'm definitely keeping that. This is the original, and I really love these. Like, the longer I have this one and the Major Dimensions, I do feel like these are some really solid neutral palettes that are available at Sephora now, so that's staying. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get rid of this. And I know I said I love the color story, and I do, but I just know I have like that shadow I love so much a million times over in my collection. I'm drawn to it in every single palette, so I think I'm actually gonna pass that one on. I know someone in my life will get some great use out of it, and I just don't think I'm actually gonna use it, so that's gonna go. Next, this is the Falling For You palette from Ace Beauté. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I think this color story is beautiful. I just never reach for this one for some reason. I feel like I always have to force myself, so I think it's just time to pass this one on. So stunning though, so beautiful, very fall. Like, it is so pretty, but I'm gonna get rid of that one. I just know over time I haven't really been using it, and I know someone else will love it. All right, this palette from Makeup Revolution. This is the Corpse Bride collection, and there is a part of me that wants to keep this because of the fact that it's Corpse Bride, and like, I do like having a few spooky palettes around. So there is a part of me that wants to do that, but I don't know if I'm gonna use it, you know? I just don't know if I'm actually gonna use it. I think I'm actually gonna declutter that. I'm just following my heart and what I think I'll use and what I think, you know, I do make videos obviously, so that's something to consider, but I think it's time for that one to go. This one from Beauty Bay is the Book of Magic palette. I think I'm gonna keep this one. I feel like this is a similar color story to the palette you just saw, but I feel like these are better quality, and I think if I wanna reach for something more spooky and all of that, like, you know, as a color story, this still has that kind of witchy theme, so I'm gonna keep this one. I do like that, it's so pretty. This one is the Enchanted palette from Sigma, another one I think is really pretty. I do have like singles in my collection that are maybe more intense than these, but there's something about these shadows that do look just really pretty on the eyes. And I feel like if you still want something that's kind of like work appropriate or like, you know, kind of neutral every day, the sparkle in here is just pretty enough, like, to add something special, but not too over the top. So I'm gonna keep that one for sure. Next, this is the Sugar Pill Fun Size 2 palette. Oh, look how pretty that is. I love it. This is an all matte palette. I'm definitely keeping this. Love this color story. I think it's so fun. Even though I don't wear tons of color now, this is one that makes me want to. So definitely keeping that. Next, I have two Adept palettes. I used to have these depotted as singles in my collection, but recently I put them into the palettes because I just wasn't using them as singles because of the pan shape. I tend to reach for circular pans, like that standard circle, I don't know, 26, whatever. I don't know. I don't know the exact measurement name, but I tend to reach for those. So I'm gonna keep this palette and the next one, but these are not how they used to be. This is in the Ninhydrin palette, but it's not what the palette actually looks like. I just kept my favorite singles that fit in here and then actually got rid of the rest from Adept. So this one is what my, I mean, that's so pretty, but this is what my Plain Jane palette looks like now. So I'm keeping both of those. You guys probably already know, but I'm going to keep all my Natasha Denona mini palettes. So this one is the Mini Love palette, definitely keeping that. This one is the Mini Star. I'm definitely keeping that. And if you want to see all my thoughts on these palettes, all my Natasha Denona palettes, you can check out my ranking video, but this one's the Mini Glam. I have the Mini Zendo. Love that one. And then my absolute favorite, the Mini Retro palette. Love that one. Another Smiley Compact Strikes. This one is also from Ciate London, and I think it's also time for me to get rid of this one. It's all shimmer. It is really pretty, but I just feel like with all my other palettes, I'm not reaching for this one nearly as much, and so I think it's time to pass it on. This one here, this is the Hello Kitty and Pixie collab. I was actually excited because I thought this would be some more cool tones, and you know, I just thought it would be great, but I really haven't liked this formula. I just don't think it's very good. It does not match up to the stuff in my collection, so that's gonna go. Another palette that's gonna go, this one is from Wander Beauty, and I think it's pretty, but I just don't get on with the Wander Beauty eyeshadows. Like, something about them, they look so pretty in the pan. They even look really pretty in swatches, but I don't feel like they look great on my eyes, and I also feel like they have a lot of fallout. So I'm gonna get rid of this palette. And if you were wondering, that's the Fling palette. And then this is the other Fun Size palette. This is the first one that came out, and this one is also really pretty, so definitely keeping that. I love these palettes. Like, as long as they're good in my collection, they don't smell, all that, like, they're probably gonna stay. Like, these are some of my favorite makeup pieces. This next palette is from ColourPop, and it is so pretty. Like, looking at it, I'm like, oh, I love it, but I just haven't had that experience every time I put it on my eyes for some reason. I just don't love it as much, so I'm actually gonna get rid of this. This is the Coast is Clear palette, so hopefully someone in my life will like that one. Okay, so this is like nostalgia. Nostalgia. This is from Wet n Wild. This is the Comfort Zone palette. I'm gonna be keeping this for now. I was definitely going through a weird nostalgia phase. Don't ask me about it right now, but this year, and so I acquired this and I'm gonna keep it for now. All right, this I can't even open, but I think like my menagerie stuff, I just don't love. So I think I might actually be getting rid of this. I might eventually get rid of the single shadows even that I have. I just don't love them. I can't even open this because one of the shadows broke, so it's just gonna get everywhere. But it's the Violet Ink palette, so I think that's gonna go. That one does make me sad. Like, I pined after it for so long, you guys, but you know, sometimes just formulas don't work and they work for other people, and that's fine, you know? Okay, you might be surprised to see this. You're like, bitch, how is this in your collection still? Thought you got rid of it. Yeah, I was, but then I thought, I want to keep this for the single shadows. Like, I want to be able to use this as a place to put single shadows, what I'm thinking. So I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to get rid of all these shadows because I did not like this palette. I love the color story. I love the outside. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's my goal. That's like a project I have in mind. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this. Keeping it, but it's not really. It's just going to become a shell. I have a few little Viseart quads we'll go through. I believe this is one of the new ones, or maybe it's from last year. It's called Lila. I don't think you pronounce the S. I think someone told me that. So that's the Lila. Absolutely beautiful. Again, this is what I want to use. Look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. This one I think is the Framboise palette, something like that. So pretty. And then this one is the Pesh palette. I'm keeping that as well. Next, I have some of these Sigma palettes, and I think I'm going to get rid of all of them, even though they're pretty. I just never reach for these ones. So this is the Ivy palette, so beautiful, but I think that one's actually gonna go. I don't know why these 9 pans, they just don't inspire me in a way that I want them to. So that's gonna leave. This one is the Fiery palette. That one's also gonna go. Again, not bad quality. There's nothing wrong with them. I feel like it's the same quality as the ones in the longer pans, like, or palettes, but I never reach for them. So I'm gonna release them for other people. This one here, shoot, this is the Spicy palette. That one's really pretty too. Like, really pretty looks. You could do something really amazing, but I never do. I never choose this one. So that's gonna go. This is my Nightmare Before Christmas palette from ColourPop. Definitely keeping this. It is missing 2 shadows right now just because I was playing around with stuff, but that one's definitely staying. This one is the Lush Life palette. This is another one that I'm gonna keep around. I think this color story is really pretty, actually. I think they did a really good job with that one. So that one's staying. This is the At Foresight outer packaging, but inside I have like my version of their Troublemaker palette. I tried to recreate it with different single shadows. I have a whole video on that. If you haven't checked it out, I'll leave it down below. But yeah, I definitely want to keep this. Lust for Dusk is one of my favorites. I really love this color story because it's like warm and, you know, cool at the same time. So that one's definitely staying around. Now this one, the Plush Like Me, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. So it's in the bigger pan, and in some ways I do like it. Like, it's a little bit more subdued. I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep this. I made this like big ColourPop order, and I really just felt like I learned my lesson overall. Like, ColourPop can be good for the price, but overall, you know, it's just few and far between that I feel like I really fall in love with their stuff. So I'm going to let this one go, I think. I think my mom would love it. Like, so many people in my life would love it, get use out of it. Like, they would love this. And I just feel like with so many amazing options in my collection, this is not what I'm going to go for. Even though it's pretty, even though it's beautiful. This is a palette I got through BoxyCharm, Sahara Nights, and it is really pretty. It's all shimmer. It's like all neutral. There's a part of me that really loves it. Swatches. Ooh, like that color. I think it's this one here. Oh, maybe I'll keep this one around. I'm gonna keep this one around because it's all shimmers. Like, I do like that. Okay, all right, snuck in there. This is a palette from Persona. This is like the pink one that they have. I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm planning on doing a Persona video, so I'm definitely keeping it for that. But overall, I don't feel like it will stay in my collection after that because of the fact that it's all mattes. Like, they're pretty mattes, but I do like some shimmer. So I think that one is gonna leave eventually, but staying for now. Okay, this Makeup by Mario palette is so pretty. This is the Master Metallics. Yes, that's what it's called. I love this. I'm definitely keeping it. I love that it's all shimmer. I love that it's neutral and colorful and just everything. So definitely keeping that one. This palette from Urban Decay, the Naked Sin Mini that came out this year, they sent this to me. You know, if they didn't send it, I probably wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have bought this palette, but I'm not gonna lie, I use the shit out of this during the summer. Like, I use this a lot, and there are a lot of shades I don't use. Like, I don't really love this one. These are kind of similar, but I think I'm gonna keep it around for now because I do get used out of it, especially when I travel or just don't wanna think about what I'm doing on my eyes. So that is staying kind of surprisingly. This mini palette, you guys have heard me talk about so much this year from Tarte. It's the Tartelette Jewel palette. I love this. It's very, very good. I saw that they came out with a second one. I don't know if that one looks as good though. I don't know about that one, but this one is so pretty, so definitely keeping that. And then I have this Marc Jacobs palette. This is gonna go. Like, Marc Jacobs is not a brand anymore, so it's time for this one to leave. This is gonna go. I mean, the color story is fine. I wish I had actually tried more Marc Jacobs when it was out. Like, those swatches look great, but I was just not, like, I did not have the money for Marc Jacobs at the time when these were popular and these were out. I just, you know, I didn't have the money, and so it's just a part of the makeup history and community I didn't participate in at the time, and there's no reason to wish I did now, because you can't go back, so that's gonna go. This is the Persona Identity 2 palette. I'm definitely keeping that. I love these jewel tones. They're kind of muted, like a really great palette, so that's gonna stay for sure. This is the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, I think is what it's called, and I'm definitely keeping that. I don't know if this is still around, but I do really like it. I like the softness in these colors. They are like bright and some are pastel, and I feel like they show up, but there's still like a softness about them, so I feel like they're kind of approachable for color, so those are gonna stay. And that's kind of like making me honestly want to get rid of these ColourPop ones. I keep like going back, I'm like looking at the pile in front of me, what I have, what I don't. And again, like, I'm not trying to force myself to get rid of stuff. It's like not out of guilt. It's trying to be realistic of what I'll use, what I'll make videos with, all that stuff. And I just don't know. I think these are gonna go. These are gonna go. I try to remember, like, it's always nice to be able to look in your drawer and just see a ton of stuff you love instead of like feeling like you have to find, like, search out and seek out those things. So that's something I'm trying to keep in mind too. Anyway, this is from Linda Hallberg, and I freaking love this. This has been discontinued. It's like gone, but man, this is beautiful. This is the Enchanted Secrets palette, and I love it. I picked this up after the fact, but I am definitely keeping that. Like, so pretty. Okay, this palette from Base Blue. What a hilarious thing. Like, this is what it looks like, okay? So that's the palette. And, you know, has all the different colors, but then it's just like, I feel like a lot of these, well, maybe they are. Like, as I was breaking them through, they just aren't even real, so there's that. It's an odd thing. It's just weird. It's weird. I'm getting rid of it. I have some more Kylove palettes here. This is the Le Jardin Volume 2. I'm definitely going to keep that one. I think it's so pretty. This one, I really wanted the original, but when the second one came out, I made sure to get my hands on it. So keeping that. This one is the Van Gogh palette. I'm definitely keeping this one too. I love this color story. Like, it is just so different. I feel like they really, you know, come up with some really great color stories. So that one I'm keeping. This is the Silent Night palette. This is from Glaminatrix, and I am definitely keeping that one. This is one of the like holiday, Christmassy holiday palettes that I have, and I really love it. So that's gonna stay. Even though the color story is a little bold for me now, the quality is amazing, and I don't know, I just get inspired. Like, I really love it. So keeping that. This is the NYX Mystic Petals. I keep this around all the time. I've used this a couple times this year even. I love this specific like taupey gray, okay? I do. It's nice and soft, kind of like what I was saying about the Ultimate Brights. Like, something about the mattes, they just blend very easily, and they do build up pigment, but it's just like really approachable. So that's what this palette is. There's something about this color story I do really love, but I do think it's time for me to let go, because I can't keep, like, I don't want to keep this around for one matte that I love the most. You know, the other colors I don't use nearly as much, so I think that one I'm going to pass on. Oh, goodbye. You've served me so well. I have some Aether Beauty quads. This is the Citrine quad, and I'm definitely keeping this one. I love the texture in here. I love the colors. Very easy look, so that's staying. This other quad, though, the Rose Quartz, did not like really at all. Like, I'm surprised I tried the citrine after trying this because I really hated it. So that one's gonna go. I have this cutie Hello Kitty eyeshadow quad. This one is from ColourPop. It's called Pineapple Cake and it's just all yellow. So pretty. I've created some really fun looks, but I think it's time for this one to go too, just because I just don't need this for just yellow looks. So I'm ready to pass that one on. This is that other Dose of Colors palette that I said came out that I liked more than the one I got rid of. So this is the 9 Years Later palette, and look at those neutrals. There's some cool tones, some warm tones. This is like a duochrome shadow. So I'm definitely keeping this one. I feel like this is more my style for sure. This one is a newer one. This came out for holiday this year, 2022, from KVD Beauty, and it is the Moon Garden palette. Outside, so pretty. And then inside, this is the color story. Really beautiful color story. I'm definitely still testing this one out, and so I'm gonna keep it for now. I have a whole video on it if you want to check it out, but yeah, I'm gonna keep that. This is a Lorac palette. This is the Marikai palette. I got this from BoxyCharm, and so I'm definitely gonna keep this one. Very pretty colors. It's kind of big, some repetitiveness going on, but I have not gotten the chance to really give it a try, like a fair shot. So I'm definitely keeping this. I know the formula is gonna be good, so hopefully I like it. That's gonna stay around. This palette's one of my favorite neutral palettes that I have. This is the Persona Identity palette. I know it looks kind of boring, but it creates some beautiful eye looks, so I am definitely keeping that one. Love this so much. This palette is from Alter Ego. They do like dupe palettes, and this is duping the Retro palette from Natasha Denona. I have a plan at some point to like compare them. I don't know if you guys would be interested. You can let me know. I've done that before with their palettes, so I'm gonna keep it around for that, but if I don't do that video, this is gonna go just because I already have the Retro, but I kind of want to see if this is good. I mean, the quality in the past has been really good. I just thought it'd be a fun little video, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Speaking of Natasha Denona, let's just go through all of those. So I'm just gonna show you what I have. I'm not gonna get rid of any of my Natasha Denona. You probably knew that. So this is the Retro palette. Love that. And they're all in actual order, which isn't common for me. Usually I move them around. So that's the Retro. This is the Love palette. This is the Bronze palette. This is the Pastel palette. That's staying. This one is the Sunrise palette. This is the Zendo. This is the MIDI version of the Zendo palette. This is the My Dream palette, which came out this year. This one is the Cooler Toned Glam palette. And then this is the newest MIDI palette and the newest palette from her, the Retro Glam. So keeping all of those. I have a couple of different 5 pans as well, so I'll talk about those. These are the bigger size though. This is the Peak 5 pan. This one is the Coral, probably my favorite, easily I would say my favorite out of the ones that I have, but I love having these packagings, like the 5 pan packages, so that I can make my own custom color stories. This one is the Cupid palette. This is the Ayana palette. I'm actually wearing that middle shade today on my eyes. I really love it. That's one of my favorites. It's called Satin Skin. And then last for the 5 pans, this is the Jubilee palette, the most hideous of them all. Keeping that. All right, and now to finish off with the rest of the Natasha Denona, this is the Trio Chrome. Love this palette. So pretty. Love this one. This one is the Biba palette. Keeping that. This is the very colorful Circo Loco palette. This is the Metropolis palette. This is the Iconic Gold palette. Love that one. And then I do have the bigger palette. So this is the Brown Green or Green Brown palette. And then last for Natasha Denona, this is the Blue Purple palette. So keeping all of those. Really love my Natasha Denona collection, and you can check out my video, like I said, ranking all these, talking about them, swatching them, if you really want more info about them, what I think. All right, next we have this BK Beauty palette. This is the True Beauty palette, and this is very neutral. I have not been able to give this the chance and like really give it some wear, so I'm definitely going to keep that. They sent this to me, but yeah, I really want to try this out. I mean, it's one of those ones that looks a little basic, but it might be magic on my eyes, so I really want to give it the shot. This is the Dirty Martini palette from Glamlight. Now that is pretty. Like, this is so pretty. I always look out for Glamlight because I do like the formula, but a lot of the color stories are pretty bright, and you know, back in the day I loved that, but this one is like that perfect mix of like colorful but still kind of neutral. Love that one, definitely keeping. This is the Chocolate Martini palette, and I'm also keeping this one. It looks pretty neutral, like in the pan, but I promise, like all the looks I create with this are definitely more bold, more colorful than I expect, but stunning, definitely keeping. I have some Odin's Eye palettes. This is Annette's palette collaboration, Giant Wolves, definitely keeping that. I'm gonna keep basically all my Odin's Eye. I have a code with them. I am an affiliate with them, and I really like their formulas, so keeping that. This one is Tina's palette. This is the Hummingbird palette. I'm definitely keeping that one as well. Very colorful, kind of tropical looking. And then this is Judy's palette. This is the Red Dragon. Another one I'm also keeping. So pretty. Definitely keeping those. You know, I said I was going to keep them all, but I might get rid of this one. This is the Freya palette. I don't know if this is discontinued. I know it's one of their older palettes. Like, this is pretty old at this point. And I do love these terracotta colors, but I think it's time to get rid of this one. I think it's time. So that one's gonna go. This is one of my favorite palettes of the year, and I almost didn't buy it. This is from Cleona Cosmetics. It's in collaboration with Emily Violet Marie. Oh, it's a dragon fruit palette, and I love this. It's all shimmer, you guys. Like, please, I love that. I love the textures, the colors, everything. Definitely keeping that. I have quite a few small palettes to go through, so I think that's what we're gonna do for a while. I have some Kaleidos quads. This one is Glowing Iris. This came out with the newest Night of Creation collection. Definitely keeping that. Love it. This is the other one that came out. This is called Flowing Haze. I'm also going to be keeping that. I get sent their PR. I really love Kaleidos' stuff, so keeping basically everything. I don't know the names of these. They don't have stickers on the back, but this came out with the collection. I think it's like Smoky Nostalgia, so I'm keeping this quad. Ooh, look at that smoky eye. And then this is the other quad that came out with that collection. It's like Cold Brew or something like that, and again, keeping it. Love it. So pretty. This is the smallest palette you're going to see in this video. This is my little duo from NARS. This is the Kalahari duo, and I love it. Definitely keeping that. Love these colors. This is one from Makeup by Mario, and I don't think he makes these anymore. And I do like it. I worked really hard to get my hands on this because I was so excited for like a quad and all that, but I actually don't use it much. And the fact that you can't really get it, like all of it, I think it's gonna be passed on to my mom and have her love it. I could see her using this like every day. I honestly feel like too, my Viseart quads they've taken over everything. So this is the Bullion quad. Love that. Like I said, I'm keeping all my Viseart, so it goes without saying. This one is the Praline quad from Viseart. This one is the Peridot quad from Viseart. I think these were from last holiday. This one is the Violetta quad. Love that. This is from this holiday collection. They're very, very pretty. Look at that. Ooh, definitely keeping. This is the Ameline quad. This was also from this holiday, keeping that. Now for all of these quads from ColourPop. Jeez. This one is the Peace Love Libra palette. I'm going to keep that one, even though it's a little bit light. I can see myself making some easy looks with this. So that one's going to stay. I don't know how much is going to stay though. This one is Gotta Agate, and I think I'm going to keep that one too. I do think it's really, really pretty, nice and deep. Like I could see even this look with a purple lip, like a deep purple lip. Oh, pretty. I'm gonna keep that. This one, the Never Tore Us Apart, I do like it and I think it's really pretty, but I just don't think I'm gonna wear it, so I'm gonna pass that one on. This triple scoop one is actually what made me buy so many of these quads because I really liked this one on my eyes, but I don't feel drawn to it. I know it looks good on. It's not about the quality even. It's just not getting the use, and I don't know. I'm ready to let go. So that's going to go. This one is Pisces in the Sky. That one's also going to go, even though it has this beautiful duochrome. But I just have better quality, than that in duochromes. So it's going to go. I love the quads. I got a lot of these on sale, and it was just a lesson, as always, I try to take away. To not shop when you're really sad, and also to not get sucked in by too much sale makeup. Like, don't do it. Just don't do it, This one's pretty. This is Tender Loving Cancer. I might keep that one around. I think I might use that. I'm also going to keep like a Virgo in. I do think that's a really pretty color story, and I feel more drawn to it. Really, Ruby is one I don't love as much, so I'm going to let that one go. And I think this is the last little quad. This one's going to go too, and it is called The Bold and the Aries. So that one's going to go. I know I definitely have people in my family who will love those. I found some more Kai Love palettes. This is the Triumph of Venus, and I really do love this. Another one I'm going to be keeping. These color stories every time just inspire me. When I open them, my eyes play around, and I can see just so many different color combinations. I feel like for Nine Shadows, they always just do the best job of creating a lot of different looks and a lot of directions you can go. This is the Honoré palette, something like that, and I'm also keeping that one, definitely. I have some Charlotte Tilbury quads. This one is not very good. I did not like this one very much at all. This is the Walk of No Shame palette. I just didn't feel like the quality on this one was nearly as good as the others. Like, I don't know. I didn't love this, so I'm actually going to get rid of that one just because I'm not going to use it. Like, there's no reason for me to keep it around, and maybe someone else in my life will get some use out of it. I know I'm just going to use the other quads I have from her. That was also a gift with purchase, so I'm kind of like, you know it's not that good. This is the beautiful Celestial Pop of Pearls. I'm going to be keeping that for sure. I really like this one. You guys already know I love my Exaggerize. You can see the use. Definitely keeping that. This one is the Bella Sophia, and I do like this, but I don't use it a ton. This is another gift with purchase on a different order, and so I'm kind of like, maybe I can get rid of that one too. Like, you know, there's a part of me that wants to keep it because it's Charlotte Tilbury, but I just don't think that's a good enough reason. Like, you know, I really do want it to be things I use, and I've done a Charlotte Tilbury video already, so I don't feel like I need it for that. Like, I think it's gonna go. I think that's gonna go. Wow, I'm just making decisions over here. Okay, this is from Mellow, and this is a pretty quad, don't get me wrong. Like, it is a beautiful quad. I'm gonna swatch it right now, kind of see, but I think I might even pass this one on just because I don't know how much I like the stuff from this brand, to be honest. It's pretty though. I mean, those are the swatches. It is pretty. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, well, I use my Viseart over this. Yeah. I think it's pretty though. Maybe I'll keep it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I'm keeping it. Maybe it'll be like the one thing I love from them. This is the NARS Summer Unrated palette. Love this. Can I open it? Jeez. I'm definitely going to be keeping this. I hate that it was limited edition. I really want them to come out with some just like regular full edition. What do we call it? Just, you know, permanent? That's what it is. Permanent palettes, but I'm definitely keeping that for now. I have this Party Favor palette from Urban Decay. I do really love this. I have all of the Urban Decay single shadows, and I know this sounds crazy because I said, oh, I want to keep all these. I would never get rid of them. And I think it's so pretty. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just going to use the singles. Like, I'm almost always going to reuse the singles. This is my favorite shadow from the palette for sure. And it is stunning. It's like the ColourPop, a little quirky, and Cosmic Charge. It looks just like that. So I love it. It's really pretty, but I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't know. I feel like, honestly, all my ornaments being stolen gave me just different perspectives on some stuff. So that's gonna go. Someone will love it. Someone will love it, you know? It's a weird declutter. I don't really know where I'm going, guys. Love this from Cosette. This is a cream palette, and it's stunning, okay? I love that. Look at those. Ooh. Okay, you can buy these in singles, but you can also buy the palette. Love it. Love, love, love. Keeping. Next, this is the Wired palette, and it's from Urban Decay. I'm going to keep this one. I like these colors too. I'm going to keep it. I love the pink, you guys know, but I don't know. These are also a little bit softer as well, more approachable in color, so that's going to stay. This is the Tartlet in Bloom, and I think I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, that's gonna go. We have some more ColourPop coming up. So this is the Going Coconuts, definitely keeping that one. I really love this color story, very pretty. This is the Brown Sugar palette, and I think I'm gonna keep this now too. Like, this has been my favorite for a long time. It's pretty old at this point, but I think I'm still gonna keep it. I need to decide what I wanna do with my ColourPop singles. Like, I love rearranging them and moving them around, but I'm kinda like, what do I wanna do? I don't know. This declutter is making me like, yeah, just stop buying ColourPop, honestly. I'm sorry. It's just true. All right, this is the Blush Crush. That one's gonna go. It's a little bit just not my style. That's gonna go. This is the thing, but then the Of Quartz palette, I really like. I really love this one. Just genuinely, not for the price, not for anything, just as a palette. So that one's staying. This is the All Amethyst palette, and it is beautiful. It has some nice colors in here. I just don't know. I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm gonna get a little more use out of it. No hurt, no harm. The Tinkerbell palette is really beautiful. Definitely gonna keep that color story. And then I have the That's Taupe. So I'm gonna keep that one as well. I love the taupey shades like this, you guys know. So those are all staying. I think I'm almost done with ColourPop. Let me grab the last little bit. This is the Misunderstood palette, the Villains collection. I was so excited for this, and I freaking I hate the quality in here. I hate it. Like, sometimes if you're pining after a palette that's really old, you guys, the quality, like, leaps and bounds. It's kind of like iPhones. You don't realize how bad your iPhone, like, 4 was until you look back at the photos and you're like, holy shit, that sucked. But that was, like, the best at the time, you know? So just know that. So I think I'm actually gonna get rid of this. I know it's kind of weird again with the singles. Like, I don't know. I don't want this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I have some of the bigger palettes now. This one they sent me, the Fade into Hue. I wouldn't have purchased this because it does have the glitter in it, but they sent it out and I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm keeping all the big palettes because I like to use them as ways to stop myself from buying the smaller one. So I'm gonna keep this one for now. Maybe if these match the size, I might switch them out with those smaller palettes, and that would be good. So maybe I'll do that. This is the Bare Necessities. As you can see, I have a lot of things missing from it because I was rearranging stuff and creating new color stories. So that's the Bare Necessities, keeping that. I'm keeping the Smoke and Roses palette, or what's left of it. I'm keeping the Stone Cold Fox palette, and I'm also gonna keep the Rock Candy. So those, I think that's all my ColourPop at this point. So keeping those for now. This next palette is from Urban Decay. It's the Stoned Vibes. This one I'm going to be keeping. I love this color story. I love the packaging, like everything about it. Even though it's older, I'm going to keep it until it like goes off. So that one I'm going to save. This next palette is the Shroud and Betty Jean collaboration. It's Freaking Bats, the first one. So definitely keeping that. Love this color story. So fun. So her. I also have the Halloween palette, and I'm going to be keeping this one too. This is her second collaboration with Shroud. It's a little bit more of like an orange color story going on, but definitely keeping that one. And while we're here, this is Teresa's first collab with Lethal. I'm going to be keeping that. This is called Lethal is Dead, I believe, is the palette name. All right, continuing on, this is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 Rose palette. Definitely keeping that. Really love this. I kept reaching for this all year. I really, really love it. And I feel like we're getting a sneak peek of maybe a third one, so that'll be interesting, but definitely going to keep that. This one is from KVD Beauty. It's called the Edge of Reality palette. I'm going to keep this around. I want to use it this year and see if I love it as much as I remember. Sometimes it happens where you remember loving a palette so much, but then you actually like bust it back out, put it on your eyes, you're like, what the? So I want to do that with this and make sure I still really love it, but I'm going to keep it for now. I have this Kaleidos palette here. This is the Flower Punk palette. Definitely going to keep that. Love this color story. I need to bust this one out again. I remember not having like the best time with the mattes, but I kind of want to see how it is now for me. So that's staying. This palette, the Wild Greens palette from Urban Decay, has gotta go. This sucked, dude. This sucked. I really didn't like it. So I was really disappointed. I was really excited about it and it sucked. I bought this one and I really did not like it. This is the Truffle palette from Dose of Colors, and I really love this one. Definitely going to keep that one. This is one of my favorite palettes from them, and this came out this year. Really, really good. Lots of mattes, but like the perfect matte colors, and the shimmers are really beautiful too. So keeping that one. But with that, I think I'm going to get rid of this one, the Daisy Duck one, the Daisy Donald Duck. I love the packaging. I even love the color story inside, like these shadows, but I hate that it has a face powder in there. I just think it's time. I love the color story though. I love the color story, but that's going to go. This is the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. Absolutely love this. One of my top palettes in my collection. I'm definitely keeping that. This is the Aristo palette. Here we are. Here we meet again. The Aristo palette from Zoeva. I love this, okay? I think it is so pretty, but I don't use it as much as I love it. Does that make sense? there's so many good two shadow looks. Like, I don't know why I just love this. Like, I'm just so drawn to this palette. I don't know. I feel like it's still good. I'm gonna keep it, keep it one more year. Use it and see. This from Item Beauty is new to me from BoxyCharm. That's how I got it, and I'm gonna keep it for now. I want to definitely play with it and see how it is. It has like 6 mattes in the middle, but then the outer edges are all shimmers, so I want to play with that one. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the Aristo. I know I can do it. I don't need this. It's gonna go. Okay, feels good. Let's talk about this Lava palette. Oh my gosh, ordered this from an ad. This is so lame. The color story doesn't look too bad, but the quality is really poor. Like, it also reminds me of being in the hospital this year. Like, no. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. Goodbye. Goodbye. This is the Sigma Cinderella palette. I actually really quite like this. So this one's gonna stay. This color, sorry, every look I do always turns out beautiful. Keeping that. This is the Ambiance palette from Sigma. I'm also gonna be keeping that one. It's like more warm toned, but neutral. Gonna keep that. And then I'm also gonna keep the new mod that came out from them earlier this year. So I really love these mauve tones. I feel like so many palettes at the time are coming out with these tones, but they're beautiful. So keeping that. This is another Wander Beauty, the Wandress palette Escape. Oh my gosh, no. This is not very good. It looks like it's gonna be good, but it isn't. Okay, I just don't like it. I can never get these shimmers to work. I want them to work so bad, but they never do. So that's gonna go. Oh gosh, this palette, the Hindash palette, this is gonna go. I might keep it around, but I really just did not like this palette. I don't suggest it, honestly, but I might keep it a little bit longer just to have more for videos and reference and that type of stuff. But yeah, I didn't really love this palette, especially not for eyes. Maybe for face it's better, but for eyes, no. Okay, the She-Hulk palette from Urban Decay. Now, this palette I would have never bought. We got some fun little graphics in there, okay. But I would have never bought this palette, but the looks that I have created with this palette are beautiful. I will tell you that. So it's a tough one. I think I'm still going to pass it on because I just don't see myself really reaching for it. I did a video for it just to show you guys in case you're interested, that type of stuff. But, you know, as much as I think the looks can be great, if you were interested in it or you can get on a deal and, you know, you're gonna use it. I just don't think I will anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of it. This is another one I'm gonna pass on. This is the Neutral Wonder palette from DD Signature. Again, like I said, this is just no longer a brand, but really pretty neutral palette. They sent this one out to me as well, and I think some people in my life would really enjoy it, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Wow, I did pretty good. Let's show some Viseart though. Let's have a Viseart break. This is the San Francisco palette. Oh, so pretty, definitely keeping that. This is the Lila something like that. I'm gonna keep this. This is the Petite Pro, the first one. This is the second Petite Pro. Also, I'm gonna keep that one. I honestly feel like although these aren't like comparable in price to ColourPop, a lot of these I feel like, you know, suffice for those color stories and I can move them around like I've mentioned. So yeah, I just feel like this is more what I want for my collection and what I want to use. Anyway, this is the Paris palette. Look at that. Oh, sexy. And I think this might be the last one. This is the Paris edit. So I'm going to keep that one as well. All right, here we go. This is the California Coast palette. This is from Sydney Grace. I love this, actually. I think it's so pretty. This was a gift with purchase when I bought from the sale in July, and I'm definitely gonna keep that one. This is the Enchantment palette from Shine by SD. I really do love it. The shadows definitely have leaked a little bit, and it is messing with the names, but otherwise, it is so pretty. You guys know I love the Shine by SD shadows, and I love that all of these are shimmers, so I am gonna keep this palette around still. Even though I'm like, I should just depot them, honestly, but that might be a project. We'll see. You know, I decided I'm gonna let this one go. Just because I have all the singles. Like, I just have the singles. That's gonna go. I hope the new palette, though, is good. I still want to check that one out. All right, here we go. This is the Flare palette from It's Belle, and this one is really beautiful. I mean, you can see in here, I do really love it, but I think I'm also going to pass this one on only because I have other all shimmer palettes, and I don't know. I just haven't reached for this much this year, and it's very colorful, very beautiful. I'm kind of excited to actually pass this on to my friends and family. I feel like they don't get this shit from me because I keep it all for myself. But I'm going to pass that one on. I have the Northern Lights palette, which you'll see in a second, and I think I'll always reach for that. Next, this one is the Bookish Beauty. This is actually a collab with Panda Replay or Elise on Instagram with Copacetic. So that's her palette, and I definitely wanted to get this one. It has some multi-chromes in it. It has some really pretty purples, greens, some nice mattes, so definitely keeping that. I have some stuff from Fantasy Cosmetica, and I do really like these palettes, so I'm gonna keep them. This one is the Bard palette. So pretty. I really love the 9-pan format. I feel like it gives you the chance to have shimmers and mattes. Like, it's just really good. This one's absolutely beautiful. What is this one called? This one's called the Druid palette. Definitely going to keep that one. And then this one is the Sorcerer palette. So definitely keeping those. I feel like those color stories really are beautiful. I feel like this brand does a really good job with color story. All right, I hope you guys are still with me. Continuing on, this is the Serenity palette. This is Annette's palette with Menagerie. And I am definitely keeping that. Very bright, very story. Annette, honestly, this is her color story for sure. I am going to be keeping that one. I have some Lethal Cosmetics palettes here. I can't remember the names of them. They are like pre-made palettes you can buy, but I'm going to be keeping all of my Lethal palettes. The Lethal shadows can be popped out. I love that. So you can make them singles. You could rearrange them. I just love when brands do that. So definitely keeping this. And then this is the other palette that I have. This is the Hive palette, something like that. Lots of really pretty grungy colors in here. So keeping both of those. This palette though, it's time to say goodbye. The Ace Beauté Oceanic palette. Oh, you know, I think it's beautiful. I'm never gonna reach for just this palette, and I feel okay getting rid of it. So that one's gonna leave my collection. This is that Northern Lights palette I was talking about. So I just feel like this serves the place of the It's Belle, and they're very similar formulas and, you know, just everything. So I feel like I have this one and I'm gonna reach for it more. So keeping this from Simply Posh, that's the brand. This is the Spanglish palette from Alamar, and I got this on an amazing deal from BoxyCharm, but I just don't reach for it enough to keep it around, honestly, so that one's gonna go. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes that came out this year, Nearly Natural palette from Glaminatrix. It is just stunning. Like, I love the neutrals, I love the shimmers, I love everything about this. Keeping. Oh, this is Tina's palette with Sydney Grace that came out this year. This is the Tropicolor palette, and I am definitely keeping this one. I did a video on this if you want to check it out, but that's staying. And then I think this is my last Sydney Grace, but this is the Tiny Marvels palette. This is Mel's collaboration. I'm definitely keeping that too. So keeping that one. So glad I picked it up when I did. So happy about that. We're actually getting kind of close to the end here. This one is the Blueberry Muffin palette, and this is from BH Cosmetics. I think BH is, I don't know, I think it's still a brand. I know they filed for bankruptcy, but I think they might still be around. I don't know, I'm not really sure, but I think I'm going to keep this one. This Los Angeles palette though, I think I might actually pass this one on. I know it's really pretty, like I do like it, but I don't know, I'm just not drawn to it. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna keep this Smitten in Switzerland though. This one, I think out of all actually is my favorite color story, so I'm gonna keep that one. This palette, I definitely wanna keep the Beauty Bakery The Chosen Bun. I really like the color story in here. I wanna give it some more shots. I really wanna get to know it this year, so that is staying. Lots of really beautiful, more kind of taupey, rose gold leaning colors. Yeah, definitely wanna keep that. Very, very pretty. This is the Nobla Side by Side palette, a really nice neutral palette. I'm gonna keep that one around for now. I think these are my last Kai Love palettes, and I think I might actually get rid of these bigger ones. I'm just always drawn to the 9 pans more, so this is the Impressionism palette. I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then this is the Art Nouveau, and it's very rainbow, and I just think I'm gonna get rid of those ones. I just don't love the color stories as much, and I think it's mostly because they're just bigger. All right, it's time to run through some Odin's Eye and also some Kaleidos. So this is the Soul Main. I don't think that's how you say it, but this is the palette that came out earlier this year. I love it. Definitely keeping. You guys know I love these already. The Christmas Eve palette. Oh, love it. Love it. Keeping for sure. Even more than that though, I love the Merry Christmas palette. This is just my color story. Like, I love all the duochromes, the shimmers, the mattes. Like, it's just honestly perfect. Love it. Keeping. This is the Norns palette, and you know, I think I'm ready to get rid of this one. I just don't ever reach for this one out of all the Odin's Eye that I have, and I just want to keep around some of the ones I really love, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. I know, but yeah, that's the one I'm gonna get rid of. This is Angelica's palette with Odin's Eye, the Hella palette, and I'm definitely keeping that one. Love this little green swampy color story. This is the Alva palette, and I'm definitely keeping that one too. This is one of my favorites. I love those kind of mauvey purples with the pop of yellow. I have a few of the smaller palettes from Odin's Eye. This is the Erd palette, and I'm gonna keep that one. I love that color story. This one is the Verdandi, and I think I'm actually gonna get rid of that one. I don't love this one as much, so that one's gonna go. And then last, this is the Skuld, and I think I'm actually gonna get rid of that one too. I mean, some really pretty colors in here for sure, but I just know I'm gonna reach for the newer palettes over these ones, so that one's gonna go. All right, now for Kaleidos. I'm not getting rid of any Kaleidos, you guys. I'm not. So these are the 6 pans. I'm gonna go through them all. This one is the Electric Turquoise palette, keeping that. This one's my favorite, the Astro Pink, definitely keeping that. Like, these are just nostalgia for me, like just this everything all in one, so I'm definitely keeping them. This is the Lunar Lavender palette from Kaleidos. This one is Sashimi City. I'm definitely keeping that. This one is the VR Neon palette, and I definitely want to keep this one. I don't think this one's available anymore, but I'm going to keep that. This is the Cyber Bronze palette. And last, the Sci-Fi Green. So all of those are going to stay. These are all those 6 pans, like I said, the Futurism palettes, and I definitely want to keep them. I also have the 2 big palettes, though. This is the Escape Pod palette. This is like the revamped version. I think they kind of just updated the packaging, but I'm definitely keeping that. And then I also have the Club Nebula palette. This is another collaboration with Angelica, but this one's with Kaleidos, and I am definitely keeping that one too. Okay, I have some Pat McGrath. This is the Celestial Nirvana. This is the holiday palette that came out last year. I'm definitely keeping that one. I also have the Bronze Seduction. You guys, I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to keep it. I keep it around, okay? But I really don't use this that much. Last 3 palettes. This is the Michaela and Glamlight palette, the original collab. I honestly really haven't used this much, but I bought it because I don't know. I was excited about it, the color story. I honestly didn't know who Michaela was at the time because I wasn't on TikTok. So I liked the greens. I liked the purples. I liked it. So I'm going to keep it. I do like the Glamlight formula. I don't think I'd buy this today, because it's just so big, but I'm going to keep it since I have it. And the other Glamlight palette I have here, this is the Ice Cream Dream. I'm going to put it on its side so we can really see it all, but nice and like kind of pastel, but still bright. I'm going to keep this for sure. For sure. I feel like this is what I'd want a rainbowish palette this big to look like anyway if it came out today. So I'm going to keep the one that I have that is that. Oh man, last, the BH Cosmetics Zodiac. I think I'm going to keep this still. I know it's old. I don't know if you can still get this or not, but I'm going to keep it. Like I am. It's nostalgia. It's a lot of things all in one, and I think I want to keep this one around. So that one is staying. And I think that's everything, you guys. All right, guys, so that's the end of the declutter. I hope you enjoyed. I feel pretty good about everything. I'll show you what I'm getting rid of kind of all together, but I feel like it's just kind of opened up my collection so that I can really use what I have, pass on things I know I'm not going to use, and I feel good about it overall. So hope you enjoyed seeing everything that's in my collection. I might get rid of a few other things here and there, we'll see, but I'm excited to put this stuff back in my drawers and see how much room I have and kind of some space. Oh, I just realized I didn't do everything. I guess I'll do this part with you. Hopefully my makeup looks good enough. I have some of the Monochromes palettes from Glossier. This one is Teak. I'm gonna keep that one. This one is Jute, and you think it's gonna be good, sucks. I don't like this one, that one's gonna go. And then my all-time favorite one, Almond, I'm definitely gonna keep that one. Everything else I think I'm just kind of showing you, so I can have the full like collection declutter thing going on, but I don't think I'm gonna get rid of anything else. So we're gonna go into my Rowan stuff. This is Gold Lust, love this. This is the Eyes on Me quad. I'm definitely keeping that. The 52 degrees, I actually don't love as much as I thought I was going to, but I really wanted to finish out my collection. I normally don't do that with stuff, but with the Rowan quads I wanted to, so keeping that. You guys already know 1111 is one of my favorites, as well as Mood Forever. It is just so good. And then last, 75 degrees. So keeping all my Rowan quads. This palette, I think I might actually get rid of this one from REM Beauty. I think it's time. That's gonna go. I have a bunch of my little Lorac palettes. These are all gonna stay. So I have Simmering. This one is Sparkling. I think my favorite is the Mystic Oak one. That one's just so good. But I also love Frosted Sequoia. Frosted Sequoia is also really pretty. Okay, and then last for Lorac, this one is Winter Rose. The final palette actually in my palette declutter is the Linda Hallberg Shimmer Saga Quad. And you know I'm keeping this. This is one of my favorite palettes of the whole year. Love it so much. So those are all my palettes. That's my actual declutter. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.